welcome to Bhagavatam Bites solo. Because unfortunately, again, due to time differences and traveling on the part of Nitai, he's not going to be here today. It might even be for the rest of the week. Let's see. But definitely today being Monday, so which means the recording's actually going to go up later than it normally would. So yeah, it's just me. But I figured out this quite fancy thing, by the way, as you can see on my presentation. This is it's on a Mac, so it's Keynote, or PowerPoint if it was on PC. So see, it's me basically on my presentation. I thought that was quite cool. So anyway, okay, let's see how far we get with this. It's Canto 4, Chapter 20, Text 29. Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. I'm sitting next to an open window because, I'm from London and we don't succumb to the AC so easily. So I appreciate it's a bit noisy just because of the air, I guess, life. So I'm going to apologize for that, but definitely need the window open here. Okay, where are we? Text 29, sorry. Right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, text 29. Great saintly persons who are always liberated, take to your devotional service, because only by your devotional service can one be relieved from the illusions of material existence. O my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls to take shelter at your lotus feet, except that such souls are constantly thinking of your feet. Okay, let's text, and this is a purport. The karmis are generally engaged in fruitive activities for material bodily comforts. The jnanis, however, are disgusted with searching after material comforts. They understand that they have nothing to do with this material world, being spirit souls. After such realization, the jnanis who are actually mature in their knowledge must surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. That's the last point. Self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. This is really interesting. I think we've touched upon this before, but even on this process of Krishna consciousness and worshipping a personal God, it actually takes a while, I feel, for practitioners to become personal. That might sound a bit controversial, but I am by myself, so I'll just say it. It's interesting. I'm speaking, I guess, from recent experience as well, some interactions and this. People maybe you don't always realize what you're saying and how you're saying it, and it's interesting that the process of self-realization culminates in devotional service, a devotional platform, and as Prabhupada says, service to whom? Devotional service to whom? To a person, to God, as it were. And when I find that, we may not think I'm not an impersonalist. I'm not just sitting there meditating or nothing or whatever. But I think whatever walks of life that we come from, it does take a while to be personal. And I think to be personal, the key word is to be sensitive and to be very in tuned with the person or the persons you're interacting with, and to listen. These concepts come up a lot in terms of our service of devotee care, which we're specifically doing here in New York, and to have the ability to just listen to what someone's saying without waiting to be heard, it's really powerful. I actually saw this quote the other day. Okay, it was on Facebook, but I saw this quote, and it was along the lines of, healing starts when we are heard. When we feel that we're heard, we actually start to heal, because a lot of times that's all people want. That's all they just want to feel. You may not even ultimately want, revenge or justice and that. I just want to be heard. I just want you to understand my side, or what I'm feeling or experiencing. I don't know if, for me, that last sentence just really stood out, but in the way in which I explain that it's not just like, it says here karmis, the gyanis, and Prabhupada refers to mayavadis, impersonalists and this, but I feel even those of us who feel we're on this personal path, sometimes, to all of us, it takes different degrees of practice to become personal. Just a few thoughts on that. So I've broken up the purports. I'm going to go to the next slide, which is still the same purport. Therefore, it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that those who are Atmarama, self-satisfied, are freed from all contaminations of the material modes of nature. As long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially by rajas and tamas, he will be very greedy and lusty, and will therefore engage in hard tasks, laboring all day and night. Such false egoism carries one from one species of life into another perpetually, and there is no rest in any species of life. A jnani understands this fact, and therefore ceases to work and takes to karma sannyas. Interesting. That's where you need Nitai to pull these points apart. I think what stood out for me though at the beginning, where it says, as long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially rajas and tamas, so that is the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance, he will be very greedy and lusty. It's interesting. I mean, being here in New York City, I guess it's predominantly rajas and tamas in that sense, because you definitely see a lot of greed and a lot of lust exhibited in the way people may dress or not dress, and just how they behave, and busy, and it's really interesting. When myself and Janita, we don't live too far walking distance from the Bhakti Center, so we walk over there in the morning for Mangal Arati and stay for the full morning program. And it's funny because when we come back home after the morning program, most people in this building, if not around us, I mean, they've already left for work or are leaving for work. So we're the only ones like coming back a certain way and walking into this building, and everyone else is like dressed up in a certain way and going to work. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. It's quite interesting. It's like the verse in Bhagavad Gita, what is night for the self-realized souls is morning, and what is morning is night. I've just completely botched up that verse, so I'm going to move on to the next part of the purport. Yet, this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the material wisdom... we live... where we live, on the other side of the road, which we can see here, is a fire station. So, yeah, they make a lot of noise, so I apologize if you can hear anything. They're backing their fire truck into the station. Okay, this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the material wisdom of the jnani leads him to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he is satisfied only in contemplating the lotus feet of the Lord constantly. Prithu Maharaj therefore concluded that liberated persons taken to the devotional path have acquired the ultimate goal of life. If liberation were the end in itself, there would be no question of a liberated person's taking to devotional service. So Prithu Maharaj is saying that devotion is agreeing and concluding that devotional service is the end goal of self-realization, because those who are not on the path but are on the path of trying to become self-realized and some form of liberation, jnanis and other forms, but other constant paths, but Prithu Maharaj's point is that ultimately they all come to devotional service, and therefore therefore that is the ultimate. There is no unless you're fully satisfied on the other paths. This is why I'm understanding what he's saying. You wouldn't feel the need to come to devotional service and stay. Alright, concluding paragraph of this purport, of the purport to verse 29. In other words, the transcendental bliss derived from self-realization, known as Atmananda, is very insignificant in the presence of the bliss derived from devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj therefore concludes that he would simply hear of the glories of the Lord constantly and thus engage his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Someone just commented in terms of the point, the lotus feet of the Lord. Someone commented the other day about Murlidhar. So here the presiding deities at the Bhakti Center are called Sri Sri Radha Murlidhar. So someone was commenting on Murlidhar's feet being very perfect. Actually, they are very nice, I must say. So it just reminded me of his feet when I saw that point, and thus engage his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. So for Prithu Maharaj, he's satisfied to just hear the glories of the Lord and just meditate on the Lord. Hare Krishna. I'm going to leave that there. If anyone's got any comments, any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments on the channel, because I do check them. And yes, hope next time, hopefully, we can sort out some time zone connections with Nitai. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you'll have to put up with me, but it won't be for long because he's back this week. So don't worry, he's actually back in the country this week. So you may have to put up with one more reading. But anyway, thank you very much for all your continued support, for watching, for subscribing, and for those of you who also share comments. We really do appreciate it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.